There are always secrets, scandals, and spies where there is power. The authors of The Secret Royals revealed a shocking and sometimes disturbing relationship between the royal family and Britain's security forces. Queen Elizabeth I and her spymaster Sir Francis Walsingham in the 1600s are just the beginning of the mystery. There are still questions about Princess Diana's death in 1997. Here are 10 exciting bits from this great history book. But before we begin, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for such amazing and informative videos. 1. The SAS set Princess Diana's hair on fire during a training exercise with King Charles. Britain's top special forces train royals so they know what to expect on kidnap and rescue missions. During one practice, the SAS acted out an attack on a building with hostages, where the rescuers used Range Rovers and stun grenades. Princess Diana was so happy to see her that she offered to drive a Range Rover. The princess forgot to roll up her window, though, as she roared up to the building. When the flash fringe went off, a pellet got caught in her hair and started a fire. While an officer quickly patted the princess's hair to make sure it didn't catch on fire and cause any harm, Prince Charles and the rest of his group laughed. 2. A drunken man broke into Queen Elizabeth's bedroom while she slept. In 1982, when Michael Fagan climbed up the drainpipe of Buckingham Palace, he caused one of Britain's biggest security problems. The drunk worker broke an ashtray and entered the Queen's bedroom with a piece of broken glass. The time was 7:15. The Queen hit her clock, but nothing happened. The corgis were being walked by her footmen. Her police guard for the night had already left an hour before. The Queen didn't miss a beat and gave Fagan a cigarette while she waited for help. "Bloody hell, ma'am, what's he doing here?" asked the maid when she came in. Queen Elizabeth didn't get upset, but when Fagan was taken away, she was angry and said bad things about her security team. 3. King Charles and Princess Diana avoided a bomb at a Duran Duran concert. The Irish Republican Army planned to kill then Prince Charles and Princess Diana at a Duran Duran show in 1983. They told Sean O'Callaghan to plant a bomb at London's Dominion Theatre. O'Callaghan was an Irish police informer, so he told his agents about the plan. However, he still went to London with $2,300, a fake driver's license, and plans to buy explosives. He didn't know how far to go. Scotland Yard finally told people that a jackal from the IRA was in town. This turned up the heat and let O'Callaghan back off without being suspected. Roger Taylor of the band Duran Duran said it was the scariest moment of his life. 4. To get away from her security team, Diana once jumped off a first-floor balcony in the Austrian mountain resort of Lech. Even though their lives were in danger, Charles and Diana kept a lot of secrets as their marriage ended. Sometimes they even tried to get away from their own security teams. Diana was the worst, the Secret Royal says. Even when she was first married, she was pretty good at putting herself in danger. She knew how to get away from her trail like a CIA agent. This made royal servants worry when they found out she had slipped out to go shopping on the King's Road with only a pair of stylish sunglasses to protect her. 5. King George VI asked Michigan 5 to spy on his brother Edward amid fears he and American divorcee Wallis Simpson supported Hitler. Edward VIII gave up his throne in 1936 so he could marry Wallis Simpson, an American. This caused a constitutional problem. Wallis had been separated twice and was thought to be a Nazi sympathizer. So she was not thought to be a good match for Edward. King George asked the security forces of Great Britain to keep an eye on the couple. They found out that Wallis, who was still married to her second husband, had a lot of male guests, like a charming car salesman she paid and gave gifts to. Wallis also seemed to be going out with Joachim von Ribbentrop, who was Hitler's foreign minister. PM Winston Churchill sent Edward, who was married to Wallis at the time, to the Bahamas as governor, where he stayed until the end of the war. 6. The first spymaster in British history, Francis Walsingham, was a part of Elizabeth I's inner circle. He created an intriguing network of informants. William Cecil, Francis Walsingham, and the Earl of Leicester were some of Elizabeth I's spies in the 16th century. Each of them oversaw a rival intelligence network. Even though Walsingham is the most well-known, the other two ran independent networks with different customers and techniques, frequently smearing rivals and casting doubt on the mother. Elizabeth was in charge, though, and was intimately involved in daily choices such as how to best torture particular individuals and how to seek credible denial when it was appropriate. The Queen made sure she used every spying technique at her disposal to overthrow Mary, Queen of Scots, in England. 7. Queen Victoria and her government frequently disagreed over intelligence. The reign of Queen Victoria, 1819–1901, was marked by political turbulence at a period when amateur nation-state spy agencies competed with royal intelligence conduits. Britain's Secret Service MI6 wasn't even established until 1909 or recognized until 1994. The monarch avoided her cabinet and preserved her dynasty by using secret sources. In order to circumvent government judgments and policies, Queen Victoria, who frequently differed with her ministers about surveillance matters, used royal intelligence sources. She also worked as an early information gatherer, analyst, and, in modern parlance, consumer. 8. King George VI initially had reservations about the young Queen Elizabeth dating Prince Philip, so he requested that the Met Police Special Branch compile a secret dossier. King George VI, the father of Queen Elizabeth, was concerned about Philip as a potential suitor for his daughter and requested that Scotland Yard's special branch put together a top-secret dossier detailing Philip's political beliefs, affiliations, and history. Philip's rude language, disorderly living quarters, late-night drinking, and a Canadian lover named Ursula Benning who worked in Hut 4's naval department at Bletchley Park were all mentioned by surveillance personnel. They also mentioned the Nazi links Philip's sisters had through their marriages. Additionally, the king's eyes and ears had doubts about Philip's loyalty if they got married. But Elizabeth had already made up her mind. What follows is history. 9. At gunpoint, at her attempted kidnapper, Princess Anne swore and refused to get out of the car. When a lone gunman attempted to abduct Princess Anne in 1974, she and her husband were traveling in a car towards Buckingham Palace. James Beaton, Anne's security guard, was shot 3 times by Ian Ball, who suddenly pulled a gun from his pocket. Ball went on to say that his goal was to kidnap Anne and demand a £2 million, $2.25 million, ransom. "Will you exit the vehicle?" he inquired. "Not bloody likely," Anne retorted. A passerby glanced in the window as they passed and then went away saying, "So it is." Ron, the geezer, Russell, a former heavyweight boxer, also passed by and struck Ball twice in the head before the cops came. 10 years after confessing to spying, Queen Elizabeth permitted Russian spy Anthony Blunt to continue serving as her art historian. Academic Anthony Blunt served as an MI5 spy during World War II and afterwards served as the Queen's art historian. He was also a former British Army soldier. Blunt was assigned on secret missions towards the end of the war to recover artwork, jewelry, and valuable coinage that formerly belonged to the British royal family. At the request of the father of Queen Elizabeth, he also obtained private communications. In addition to correspondence between King George VIII and Prince Philip of Hesse, Hitler's agent for art, and his henchmen, Blunt assisted in recovering approximately 4,000 letters. The lengthy letters may have shown the royal family's connections to Nazi Germany and explained why they preferred to keep Blunt's betrayal a secret rather than expose it. The questions that survive. The circumstances surrounding Princess Diana's passing and the connection between Ritz driver Henri Paul and the security agencies remain mostly unknown. The Secret Royals claims that numerous security services were aware of the temporary head of security at the Paris Ritz Hotel. He frequently communicated with the DST, which is the French counterpart of MI5, and the DGSE, which is the French version of MI6. A U.S. law enforcement officer claims that Paul worked for a DGSE spy in the hours prior to the crash, receiving payment of $1,000, and had the money on him when the tragedy occurred. It appears that these arrangements were typical at upscale. So, if you're interested in learning more amazing information about royal family, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to get notified by our new videos. Thanks for watching till the end.